Hi there, how do you say to prefer in Dutch? Question I often get, and as you can see from the length of this video, it's a rather long answer. There are a few options that I put here, so that's verkiezen, een voorkeur hebben voor, or voorkeur geven aan, and liever. We're going to see another one after these three. So, how do you use verkiezen? Well, verkiezen, just like een voorkeur hebben voor or voorkeur geven aan, is used in specific situations. Let me explain with an example. Ik verkies sterke koffie. I prefer strong coffee. Okay, right, and what's so special about that? Well, in verkiezen you see the word kiezen, and maybe you know that it means to choose. When you're saying verkiezen, then you're going to imply a little bit, it has like a feel of to pick out or to choose from. So, ik verkies sterke koffie. If someone asks you, do you prefer this one or this one? Well, my choice is this. So, it's the equivalent of choosing or wishing, and, well, you could also say it's to prefer. Alright, so that's the specific situation for verkiezen. And how about een voorkeur hebben voor or voorkeur geven aan? For example, ik heb een voorkeur voor sterke koffie. I have a preference for strong coffee. And does it mean I prefer strong coffee? Well, yes, but we don't say it that often. Also, ik geef voorkeur aan sterke koffie. I give a preference to strong coffee, and it also has a bit of a situation of choosing. So, well, what do I do then if there's not much of a choice that is presented to you? Well, then you go to the standard option, which is way better, not way better, but it suits more situations than verkiezen and een voorkeur hebben voor. And the standard word is liever. And liever, some students don't really like liever for the simple reason that it is not a verb. And you'd be like, wait, prefer is not a verb? Well, in English, prefer is a verb, but liever is not a verb. Let's take an example here. Ik drink liever sterke koffie. So, someone really likes strong coffee. What do you see there? Ik drink liever sterke koffie. I drink liever, prefer, strong coffee. It actually means I prefer strong coffee. But liever is used with another verb. And maybe that rings a bell. Maybe like, I've seen something similar, like a verb that is not a verb in Dutch. Yes, that's true. It's graag. Graag, to like, is not a verb in Dutch. So you have to use it with another verb. And actually, liever is the comparative of graag. What do you mean? Liever is the comparative of graag? Well, it's actually rather logical. Graag, I like, and if you like something more, then you prefer. Right? So, graag and liever. Alright, okay, good. And it behaves just like graag. It's not a verb. You need to put it with a verb. For example, ik drink graag sterke koffie. I like to drink strong coffee. There are some cases in which you don't need to put it with a verb. For example, if I ask you, wil je thee? Nee, liever koffie. Do you want tea? No, I prefer coffee. Then it's not a full sentence. It's not like a long sentence. And just like graag, there are a few options here as well. For example, if you want to say, I prefer Belgium, which is a really good thing to say. I prefer Belgium too, because it's, well, I'm from Belgium. Okay, how do you say I prefer Belgium? Well, there is no verb here. What do you say then? Well, good question. what do you prefer about Belgium? For example, if you want to prefer going to Belgium, then you can say, ik ga liever naar België. I prefer to go to Belgium. Well, yes, but it's not really what I want to say. I just want to say I prefer the whole of Belgium. Well, just like with graag, you have some other choices. For example, ik vind België leuker. I prefer or I find it nicer, funnier, something like that. Or ik hou meer van België. I love Belgium more. So these are also ways to say I prefer Belgium, and I invite you to go to the video that you see there appearing about graag, where you have more explanations about these ways. But remember that you can change these ways into prefer. And maybe you're thinking like, well, this liever sounds a lot like rather. And yes, it's true. You could somehow relate it to rather, because rather is also not a verb in English. For example, ik wil liever thee. I rather want tea. Or ik zou liever thee willen. I would rather have or want tea. So yes, rather is somehow related. I promised you there was another option for to prefer, and that's this verb here, prefereren. And you're like, oh my god, I've watched this whole video over 6 minutes, and now you're telling me there's prefereren? It's just like English, it's so much easier. Why didn't you just say it before? Well, there's a good reason for that. I'm very sorry for you because you're so upset, but there's, as I said, a very, very good reason. Prefereren, we rarely use it, and if you use it, it sounds a little like, why do you use this verb? So, and I don't want you to have people thinking when you're wanting to say prefer, that you're going to have weird reactions about the things you say. So, sorry again. And to compensate, I have another video about rather that is there. You can just go there and we'll see each other there. Tot ziens!